All right, everybody, get ready, because today we're diving deep into something I know a lot of you have been asking about, hydration.
Definitely a hot topic.
It is, and we're not just going to scratch the surface with the whole 8 glasses a day thing.
Right.
We're going way deeper. And for this deep dive, we're using this awesome lecture as our guide. It's called Proper Hydration Throughout the Day.
I'm excited to dig into this.
Me too, and trust me, this lecture has some seriously interesting stuff, things I bet most of us have never even thought about.
Well, what I find fascinating is how this lecture makes you rethink something we all take for granted, water. Like, we all know it's good for us,
Yeah.
but it's easy to forget how incredibly essential it is.
Totally. It's like, yeah, I know my car needs oil, but then you learn how it actually, keeps everything running smoothly, and then suddenly you actually care about that next oil change.
Exactly.
So walk us through it. What's the big deal with water? Why is it so important for our bodies?
Okay, so think of your body like this intricate, crazy complex machine, right? Well, water's the key. It's like the magic ingredient that keeps everything running. We're talking almost every single bodily function relies on it.
Okay, so it's not just about, not being thirsty.
No, not at all. Think about when you get hot, right? You sweat.
Yeah. Well,
We all know that, but this lecture really gets into the science of how that sweat actually cools us down. It's like having a built-in AC system.
see, that's way more interesting than me just looking at the temperature.
Right.
And what about our blood? It's mostly water, right?
It is, yeah.
So it's doing way more than just carrying around those little red blood cells, I'd imagine.
Way more. Water allows our blood to act like a delivery system, transporting nutrients to our muscles and organs. And just like a delivery truck has to make a return trip, our blood also uses water to remove waste products.
So basically, it's keeping everything clean and running.
Exactly. It's essential for maintaining a healthy internal environment.
Wow, so water is like this ultimate multitasker in our body.
Totally.
I know the lecture also talks about some more, let's say, surprising benefits of staying hydrated.
Absolutely.
And this is where I think it gets really, really interesting.
Yeah. We all know that not drinking enough can make us feel sluggish, but did you know that even mild dehydration can impact your mood?
Wait, really? So you're saying, if I'm feeling grumpy, it could be dehydration?
Possibly. The lecture talks about how even being a little dehydrated can make you feel more irritable, more anxious, and it can even mess with your ability to make good decisions.
So that glass of water can be way more powerful than a stress ball or something.
Right. It's all connected.
Totally. And it goes beyond just mood, right?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't the lecture talk about how staying properly hydrated can also help you think more clearly?
Absolutely. It improves focus, which is why, you see athletes and performers constantly sipping on water. It helps them stay sharp, react quicker.
Wow. So for those of us who aren't, professional athletes,
Oh,
but still want to be productive and on top of our game,
for sure.
hydration is key.
It's essential.
So, okay, let's flip the script for a sec. What happens when we don't get enough fluids? I mean, the lecture doesn't exactly sugarcoat the consequences of dehydration, does it?
Not at all. It really emphasizes how even mild dehydration can show up in ways we might not even realize. Like, ever get that foggy feeling in the afternoon, even after you've had, a giant cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh, the afternoon slump is so real. My brain just wants to shut down by 2 p.m. every day.
Well, that might be your body saying, hey, hello, need some water over here. Or how about that pounding headache after a long flight? Again, dehydration could be the culprit.
Okay, so those are the minor annoyances, but the lecture also touches on how chronic dehydration, that's a whole other ballgame, right?
Right, that's where things get more serious. Chronic dehydration, it's sneaky. It happens over time, and it can make existing health problems worse and even increase your risk of other issues like, urinary tract infections and kidney stones.
Okay, so that's definitely some serious motivation to stay hydrated.
For sure.
All right, so we're clear. Staying hydrated is super important. But now let's dive into some of those common hydration myths, because I've definitely used some of these to justify, grabbing another iced latte or whatever.
Oh, for sure. Those myths are sneaky.
They are. So first up, can you actually drink too much water?
The age-old question. And the lecture does mention something called water intoxication, which sounds kind of scary.
Water intoxication, what is that? Is that a real thing?
It is, but it's pretty rare, thankfully. Basically, what happens is you drink so much water that your electrolytes get all out of whack.
Electrolytes, yeah, those are those kind of essential minerals, right?
Exactly. They carry an electrical charge when they're dissolved in fluids like, our blood. They help your nerves and muscles communicate properly.
So they're pretty important.
Very important.
And water is how we keep them balanced.
Exactly.
So when you say out of whack, How worried should my iced latte-loving self be about this whole water intoxication thing?
Honestly, I think you're safe. Water intoxication is really uncommon. We're talking extreme situations like marathon runners who are pushing their bodies to the limit.
Okay, so for us regular folks, we're probably good.
You're good. Just listen to your body, drink when you're thirsty.
Okay, perfect. Another myth I've always wondered about is morning coffee actually dehydrating.
Hmm. The great coffee debate. And it's true, caffeine is a diuretic, meaning it can make you pee a bit more.
Right, that's what I thought.
But here's the thing. Moderate caffeine intake, it doesn't actually dehydrate you in the long run.
Wait, so you're telling me I can have my coffee and still stay hydrated?
You absolutely can. The lecture explains that the fluid you're getting from that coffee or tea actually outweighs the little bit of diuretic effect from the caffeine.
Okay, that is fantastic news.
Good news for coffee lovers.
Yes. All right, last beverage question, I promise. Are all fluids created equal when it comes to hydration?
Ah, good question. And that's where things get a little trickier. So yes, any beverage contributes to your total fluid intake. But they don't all hydrate you the same way.
So like my morning orange juice versus, I don't know, a can of soda.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Your body craves water, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you drink sugary drinks, your body actually has to use up more of its own water stores to process all that extra sugar.
So even though I'm drinking something, it could actually be working against me.
Yeah, it can throw off your body's fluid balance.
Mm.
And that can leave you feeling even thirstier in the long run. Sticking with water, herbal teas, those low sugar options, that's the best way to make sure you're really truly hydrating your cells.
Water it is. Now, I remember the lecture mentioned something about the 8 glasses a day rule, not actually being like a perfect fit for everyone.
Right, and there's a lot of debate about these kind of like universal hydration standards. 8 glasses a day, it's a good starting point, but some experts think it's a little too simplistic.
Simplistic how?
Well, we're all different. Our bodies are different, our lifestyles, the climates we live in. It all plays a role in how much water we actually need.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So like
Yeah.
someone who's hitting the gym every day in a super hot climate is going to need way more water than someone who's like sitting at a desk all day in an air-conditioned office.
Exactly. And the lecture also talks about how things like age, even your gender, and your overall health can impact your individual hydration needs.
So there's really no magic number that works for absolutely everyone.
There really isn't. And that's why learning to listen to your own body's signals is so important. The lecture really emphasizes that thirst, that feeling of thirst. It's your body's natural way of telling you, hey, I need more fluids.
That's like a built-in alarm system.
It is.
And we kind of forget to listen to it sometimes.
It's true. We often override those natural signals.
Totally. So instead of obsessing over like a specific number of ounces, it's more about figuring out what works for your own body, right?
Absolutely. It's all about that personalized approach. What does your body need to thrive? And the lecture actually gives some great tips for making hydration a part of your routine without it feeling like a chore.
Okay, because let's be real, nobody wants another thing on their to-do list.
Exactly. It should be enjoyable.
So what do we got? What are some of these tips?
Well, one really simple one is starting your day with a glass of water. It's like hitting the reset button after you wake up. Rehydrates you, kickstarts your metabolism.
I like that, kind of like a morning ritual.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
Another good one, carry a reusable water bottle with you. All day, everywhere.
It's like a visual reminder.
Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind, right. But if you've got that water bottle staring at you, you're more likely to take a sip.
True. Okay, but I gotta be honest, even with the best intentions, I still forget sometimes. Especially when I'm super busy.
Oh, I totally get it. We've all been there.
So what do you do then?
Technology to the rescue. Set reminders on your phone, or, there are tons of those, like hydration tracking apps.
Oh, yeah.
It might seem kind of silly.
No, I use those. They really work.
They do. A little nudge can make all the difference.
All right, last question, and I'm kind of hesitant to ask this one, but the lecture mentioned using urine color as like a hydration gauge. Is that legit?
It is. I know it sounds a little weird, but it's actually a really good indicator. Pale yellow or clear your golden. If it's darker yellow, your body might be saying, hey, I need some fluids over here.
Okay, so we really do have this like internal hydration meter. We just gotta, pay attention.
It's exactly. Listen to your body.
This has been so interesting. I feel like we've totally busted some myths and really gotten a handle on this whole hydration thing.
I agree. It's been a great deep dive.
It has. So to wrap up, it's not just about chugging water all day long, right? It's about understanding why it matters, paying attention to our own bodies, and finding what works for us.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a race.
Perfectly said. Now, before we go, I want to leave you all with something to think about. We've covered a ton about hydration today, but at the end of the day, it comes down to this. What's one small change you can make? Could be as easy as keeping a water bottle handy, setting a reminder, or just, actually listening when your body says, hey, I'm thirsty.
Even the smallest changes can have a big impact on your overall well-being.
So true. All right, on that note, we'll wrap things up. Until next time, stay curious, stay hydrated, and keep exploring.